Hello, I'm Jeff Quigley, General Manager of UGSI ChemFeed. Thank you for purchasing a PolyBlend unit from us. PolyBlend was introduced in the early 1980s, and since then, tens of thousands of units have been installed all over the world. PolyBlend is the standard to which our competitors aspire, and in all that time, PolyBlend has remained the market leader. You have purchased a robust, long-lasting unit that will serve your needs well. Our goal with this video is to make your startup easier. Thank you for your business.
Thanks, Jeff, and thank you for buying a PolyBlend polymer mixing unit. The PB series is our original design of polymer mixing units. The PB series has a neat polymer capacity up to 8 gallons per hour and a dilution capacity of up to 1,200 gallons per hour. It is one of our most widely used units to this day. All of our polymer blending systems utilize two-stage mixing. The first stage is designed for high energy at the moment of initial wetting. The second stage utilizes lower energy to allow the expanding polymer chain to expose its charge sites without fracturing or damaging the polymer chain. The objective of polymer activation is aimed at getting the most use from the polymers you purchase and use, therefore being more efficient and having lower operating cost. The two-stage mixing ensures this optimization and complete dissolution of all the polymer in use. Our two-stage mixing design optimizes the rate of hydration, therefore maximizing the amount of polymer activated in the process. WT ChemFeed has found the proper balance in terms of the right energy applied to mixing at the right time. Before you begin your startup, read the owner's manual and look over the safety points on the next slide. We are hopeful this video helps in starting up your equipment.
My name is Tom Knupke. I am the field service and startup technicians for UGSI ChemFeed. We'd like to take this time to give you an introduction to the PolyBlend line. When you uncrate it, you will find inside your unit a bag of parts, a priming kit, 2 syringes, barb fitting, vinyl tubing for your polymer, connector fittings, and a spare belt, tubing for your solution discharge, hose clamps, NPT suction fitting, a 1/2-inch spare barb fitting, and your instruction manual for your neat polymer pump. And your user and maintenance manual. These are very helpful hints for you. Inside you will find troubleshooting, you'll find electrical, and you'll find proper installation and water and pressure conditions. What we're going to do at this point here is we're going to actually go through the unit in a dry run condition. What I mean by dry, static condition, no hydraulics, no water. Located on the back of your unit is your water inlet. Your water inlet is gone through a electrical solenoid. Water is established to the T. On the T, you'll have your high side of your differential pressure switch. On the opposite side of your differential pressure switch will be your low side. Low side being measured inside the actual mix chamber. From there, water through to your flow meter. On the opposite end, what you're going to have is you're going to have your solution discharge, which is located on the top. You also have a helpful chart here for the installation of the plastic fittings and the flex hosing, which you'll find inside of your bag that comes with the unit. Located on the unit is the head of the diaphragm pump. Bottom being suction to your polymer that'll be located in that bag of components that was shipped with the unit. Discharge of the unit, the mix chamber, braided hose simply is onto fitting, screwed on. Also have your receptacle. Make sure your receptacle is sized properly. On small frame PB units, the amp draw is 6 to 6.6 full load amps. Located on the back side is your mixer motor. Mixer motor is a belt drive, spare belt included in your accessory bag. What we're going to do right now is we're going to move over to the QC area where we're going to actually show you the setup and operation of the REM 1F. We're going to show you how to run the system from dry to wet. We're going to show you actual mixing motor working, and we're going to show you different ways to run the system. Next phase, we have our unit we have our plumbing hooked up, water inlet, solution discharge. We have taken our vinyl polymer inlet tube hooked up to the suction side. You have your braided hose connected to the inlet, which goes into the mix chamber. So before we start, ensure that the switch is in the off position. We're then going to prime our pump. You will have some residual from the syringe. Safety first. Use a pair of gloves. You'll take your syringe, which are located in your accessory package, insert it in the barb fitting, open your ball valve, close your ball valve, extract, into, open, extract until your polymer, and you'll see your polymer actually fill inside your syringe. Once you have polymer in your syringe, close your ball valve, extract that polymer, lay your syringe down at its side. You can now remove your gloves at this point. Next step, energizing to fill the mix chamber. Ensure that your receptacle is amped properly. The unit is 6 full load amps. Once you energize it, you will hear the distinct sound of the solenoid opening. You will have no power to your mixer. You'll have no power to your pump. You'll have no power to your REM controller. Basically what you're going to do, you're going to ensure that you have proper water in the mix chamber. Do not want to run this dry. Mechanical seal is located in the top cap. You run it dry, you will burn it up. When you get your system for the first time and you're operating, you're going to notice there's going to be antifreeze in the system. It's going to be a red in color solution. This is RV antifreeze. The antifreeze is in there to prevent freezing of your water line, prevent freezing of your flow meter. On the initial startup, the initial time when you energize the system and you fill with water, again, it's RV antifreeze, it's environmentally friendly, and you can put it right to your system. Next step is to turn on our water to the unit. Filling your mix chamber up with water. Once we achieve that is when you will energize your switch, your mixer motor will come on. Mixer is running, pump is not. Our mixer is now running, water flowing through the system. If you'll notice, your controller will be in the off position. Your controller should be in the off position when it comes from the factory test. You also notice your polymer pump is not energized or running. The source for your polymer pump will be through your REM or your controller on the unit itself. So, it's game day. Customer tells you, I need 100 gallons of a 0.5% solution. What we're going to do is, at our flow meter, we're going to set that for 100 gallons per hour to 100 gallons. Simple formula, 100 gallons of H2O times our percent concentration, in this case a 0.5. 100 times 0.005 tells me we have to deliver half a gallon of neat polymer per 100 gallons of water. When the unit is up and operational, we will make the adjustment on the stroke. This is a 1 gallon per hour pump. We are simply going to take it back to 50%. Okay, to run, we simply take the mode key, energize once. It's now set at 20 strokes per minute. To increase our strokes, we simply use the up arrow. Maximum stroke is 100. We then want to slow it down. We simply down arrow, take it to 50 strokes. The stroke length will be the same, but the amount of strokes that we're sending per minute, you basically have turned this back to a 0.25 gallon per hour pump. We have two ways we can run this, internal or external. Internal meaning, internally, is from the rem controller. You increase your strokes, up or down, or we can use it external. External meaning that you have an external 4 to 20 source. It could be from your SCADA, it could be from your control room, it could be from the point of application. To set this up for external, you simply hit the mode key, it turns your rem off, which de-energizes your polymer pump. Simply hold the mode key 5 seconds. It prompts display. Use the up arrow until you get control. At control, simply hit your mode again. Internal mode is what it comes up in. Down arrow goes to external. When in external, you'll actually see it change from internal to external. Simply mode key, scroll up until you get the done prompt. At the done prompt, hit the mode. You're now looking, the unit is now looking for a 4 to 20 external source. Turn your pump back on by the mode key. You're now being controlled by an external source. 20 milliamps, 100 strokes per minute. 12 milliamps, 50 strokes per minute. 4 milliamps are 0 strokes. Now we are in the external mode. We're up in operation. We're giving the customer wants 100 gallons at a 0.5%. We are at 50% on the polymer pump, 100 strokes per minute. If for any reason they need to trim their solution any further, we're already at a half gallon per minute on the pump. My recommendation would be to simply take your strokes from 100, you adjust it to 12 milliamps, which is 50 strokes per minute. We have now taken that half gallon an hour neath polymer pump, and we have now cut it back to a quarter of a gallon neath polymer pump. Next phase we're going to hit on is common troubleshooting. A lot of the conditions that are seeing out there that our in-house technical support and I've taken phone calls on are usually pretty easy fixes, very common. First one is, I have no water flow. Easiest conditions are, boom, is your unit plugged in? Is the solenoid energized? 2, is the water shut off someplace in your plant? 3, is your discharge shut off somewhere in the facility? If you're using non-potable water, if you have solids in the water, that could actually be contaminating your solenoid, or the coil of your solenoid could be burnt out. At that point, if you suspect the coil of your solenoid being burnt out, I would recommend the assistance of a qualified electrician to check your terminals to ensure that you are getting proper voltage to it. Also, the other common instances are your flow meter located on the front is shut off. Them are your common occurrences for no water flow. Another is the polymer pump is not working. The common causes of your polymer pump not working is your controller. Is it in external and you're trying to run it internally? Or is it an external looking for that 4 to 20 milliamp signal and you've lost your 4 to 20 milliamp signal? The other one could be on the faceplate, you have an internal-external switch located on the pump face itself. Did somebody turn that from external to internal? Another thing that I would normally check with, and I would always recommend, ensure that your cables are securely fastened. That's majority of the reasons. Or if you have a deadhead situation, your differential will kick in, the mixer will be running, there actually will be no water flow, or it might be minimal water flow. But once you have the differential, the red light will light up indicating you have no flow. At no flow, the pump will not run. The next would be your polymer injection checkpoint, located inside your mix chamber. You notice that you have water migrating back into your polymer line, and you basically start pulling a stringer. A stringer is where you have non-activated polymer with no energy, and it prevents it from closing. Majority of the reasons for that is improper mixing of the neat polymer tote. If you're coming out of a 5-gallon bucket, before you use it, make sure you shake it up. If you're using a 55-gallon drum, I always recommend that you get a drum mixer. A drum mixer, I have in the past recommended to the plants that they put it on a timer, run it 2 hours out of a 24-hour day to ensure that it's in proper solution, it hasn't separated out. You have to look for contamination. What I mean by contamination, has any water migrated into the drum, causing it, will cause it to clump up. Them clumps can block your polymer injection check valve. The next common occurrence, and this really isn't a common occurrence, but I have seen it in the past and I'd like to touch on it. The next common occurrence is the pump won't stop. All right, big things to look at is to make sure, is water flow still established? 1. 2, you shut it off. Remember, water flow will be established. If water flow is established, you don't have a mixer, but your polymer pump is still running. On the faceplate at the speed dial, it has to be all the way to the left. If it is turned counterclockwise and the stroke speed is up, it basically is being run off the faceplate. Thus the reason with the REM that you run the pump completely counterclockwise in the external mode on the pump. These can be referenced in your owner's manual, page 23, and it's actually the troubleshooting guide, section 4.9. Good luck with your system. You will be surprisingly happy with it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.